Welcome back to another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. I'm Steve Gamache, and today we are looking at a line from Masakage. This is the Mizu Santoku 165mm knife. The core steel is Aogami or Blue Paper No. 2 reactive high carbon steel from Hitachi. The heat treat's about 62 to 64 Rockwell on that core steel, and the construction is a reactive softer iron cladding on either side of that core steel for a 3-layer sandwich. They do put a protective food-safe lacquer coating, a pretty nicely done coating I might add, over the entire blade, of course except for the edge where they've sharpened it. And so that coating will prevent reactivity, but once that wears off, then you'll start to see reactivity and patina on the edge steel and also on the cladding. So there's no stainless here anywhere. The weight on the knife is 126 grams or 4.4 ounces. And this particular one is ground pretty thin. It's thinner than the Yuki. I've got the Yuki in at the same time. And this one definitely is thinner, lighter, more nimble. A little tiny bit more flex to it, but it's definitely ground a little bit thinner. The edge length is around 172 on this knife. These dimensions and such will vary based on being handmade. So this one, 172 right on the edge. Overall length about 12.3 inches. The spine thickness coming out of the handle is about 3 millimeters above the back of the blade, and then it thins out pretty quick and stays fairly thin compared to the Yuki actually until you get to the tip of the knife where the grind kicks in and it thins out at the very, very tip. The blade height on this one's about 46 millimeters at the heel, and then the handle is an oval ambidextrous cherry wood, nice warm cherry wood with a composite resin ferrule with kind of a smoked swirl finish to it. You do have a bit of a step between the wood and the ferrule. That's just a characteristic of this type of handle. And then the blade itself has great fit and finish on it. You can see the kind of the shiny lacquer coating. You do have some nicely done hand chisel kanji. And then they've done a good job on the polishing or relief on the spine as well as the back of the blade, the choil into the neck or imoto. So you got a nice curve there. It's very comfortable for your finger on a pinch grip, kind of tailor-made for that. Out of the box edge on this is stellar, and the left side of the blade has a pretty aggressive sharpening angle. You can see a pretty big, pretty wide bevel there right on the edge, and same on the right side of the blade, but not quite as aggressive as the left. But this is a good, solid 7 out of 10 edge on this baby. Maybe 8. This is a really nice edge on this. And he got a little more aggressive on the angles, I guess, because it's blue steel, so you can take a little bit steeper edges than maybe white steel. So really nice out of the box edge. You can tell I like it. It's well done. Let's see. Balance point is just a little bit, the handle's a little bit heavier on this, being cherry compared to like hoe wood. So it's a little bit behind a pinch grip. My pinch grip's about right here. So it gives you kind of a pretty neutral, maybe slightly handle heavy feel to it. As I said, the blade itself is fairly thin. I was surprised kind of how thin it was right out of the box, which translates, of course, into performance. Here is the edge profile. Kind of a continuous curve. There's no real flat spot here. You can see a fair amount of belly towards the back of the chin of the knife as well. So it doesn't roll into a flat. It's pretty continuous all the way through. Not super aggressive at the tip. So I can't get super high on this one without starting to dig the tip in about right there. So you're not going to high rock with this one, but most Santoku knives you're not going to rock that high anyway. So this one would be really good for general rocking purposes, push-pull, cuts, stuff with a little bit of movement, but not a straight chopping knife. Again, this knife is ground surprisingly thin. I don't know if they're all that way, but this particular one is, and it gets fairly aggressively thin at the edge as well. So really nice knife. These are a good price point too, so if you're looking for something a little bit more, in line with the lower price point, if you're looking for that, this is a nice lineup. So here you have the Masakage Mizu Santoku 165mm knife.